Hello and welcome back. I'm back. So it's been a long time posting, but I've just had a lot of stuff going on, mainly in terms of working through some procrastination and sabotage, but I have made some progress. So hopefully that frees me up a bit more to focus on creating some videos. So yeah, thank you for your patience. So today's topic is going to be twin rays. I am going to reference twin flames, but I'm not going to speak too much about that. There's other videos out there covering twin flames, and there's also videos out there covering twin rays. So I will encourage you to go and do some research if you're interested. So I did record a video of me speaking about twin rays before, but I decided to not post it and create a new one. So since then, the whole energy and vibe has gone. So please bear with me. Also, the information I did speak about regarding twin rays in my video that I'm not sharing, that has changed slightly. I'm going to use that in another video. So I've had to kind of reconstruct and change things up for this video. So twin rays. So twin rays and twin flames. Both are considered to be part of the same soul, or same excuse me, say they're part of the same flame, same soul that's divided, that meets here. So twin flame is more, let's look at twin flames more as, I'm going to say, in the romantic sense. It don't have to be in like a relationship or relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. It don't necessarily have to be that. It can be your sister or your friend, your cousin, your co-worker. It can really be any individual. It doesn't have to be set. But in terms of twin flames, the information out there on the internet is all about really parts of the same soul that come together that really mirror each other. So twin flames, they will mirror each other, but also those deep emotional wounds that need to come to the surface to be worked on or worked through. These are heavy emotions like betrayal, deceit, shame, guilt, grief. These are quite heavy emotions. So twin flames generally come together, some in a relationship sense, and with that you get a lot of running and chasing. So there's a back and forth motion happening. It's things get intense. One will run, one will keep chasing until you learn to let go, and then you come back, and that same whole pattern happens in terms of the twin rays. So why that might happen is you're mirroring each other's deep emotional wounds, so that can be quite challenging and scary. So one will be the suppressor and one will be the in your face kind of thing. So one suppresses, one in your face. It can be intense, but in terms of twin flames, you get the running and the chasing, generally based on that, and long periods of separation where you've had time for yourself to work through, and then you come back together, and the layer upon layer upon layer. So that can happen in a twin flame relationship. Twin rays are said to be the same concept in terms of the same soul split, but they are the two parts of the same soul that come back together to, essentially they're both the same to some degree, but to finish, the twin rays is to kind of continue or do your soul's, fulfill your soul's purpose and mission. Now within the twin flame concept or construct, there is said to be 12 lights of ray, and these all represent different frequencies with vibrations. So I did take some notes on that, and you can go online. I use ChatGPT for this one. So I wasn't gonna say or go through the colours with what they represent, but I've got the information here written down, so I'm going to do that anyway. So the first one, we've got blue, which represents strength, leadership, purpose, will and power. Divine will, empowerment and courage. And the second ray I mean, this is an order that chat gave. Let's not go with orders. I'm just going to read from what I've written down. So, the second one will be golden yellow, which is about love and wisdom, illumination, and higher knowledge. Pink/green, which is creative intelligence. White or crystalline, should I say, transformation, ascension, and harmony through conflict. Then we got green, which is precision, clarity, and healing. And then there's ruby gold, passion, loyalty, and devotion. Aquamarine, karmic release and purification. Magenta, cosmic joy, divine love. Gold/pearl white, unity with source. Orange peach or violet orange, intuition and higher creativity. Opalescent white/gold or/blue is highest unity oneness, which they reference which they reference Christ consciousness. So coming back to the twin flames, so I can get rid of that. In terms of twin flames, yes, in theory, some say it's supposed to be, well, they dress it up like it's, twin flame, I'm on a spiritual journey, it's spiritual, metaphysical, yes, but any relationship can be that of a twin flame, essentially. Like, if you think about relationships, you get comfortable, you fall in love. I mean, firstly, potentially don't ever really fall in love with that person. You fall in love with that version of yourself. So you both come together, you fall in love with the version of yourself, of who you are in that moment. And then you get comfortable and you get back into your habits and you suppress your emotions. This one feels something, this one feels something. Then there's a clash because you're both wanting and trying to essentially fulfill each other's emotional needs from lack of, which are deep childhood wounds. So this is playing out constantly throughout our lives. There could be abandonment, there could be shame, humiliation, all of these could be playing out. And there will be triggers to these, and that trigger can be anything. Relationships are always more emotionally connected, so whenever there's emotions involved, it always is a little more challenging. Essentially any relationship can be a twin flame. I personally I don't feel like it has to be categorized as, this whole big spiritual, metaphysical thing that everyone's kind of blowing it up to be, and what it means and all of this. Yeah, okay, there's information there which gives some meaning towards, I guess, relationships in general. Again, the same with twin rays, these are all identities. Again, with the twin rays being the more grown-up version, so all these, these wounds, childhood wounds have been worked through. Essentially what you do in there is you're choosing yourself, and by choosing yourself, you're learning to love yourself, so you've learned to emotionally fulfill yourself in the lack of, to love yourself, because love is a high vibrational frequency. When you're loving yourself, all of that kind of, you work through all of that. I'm not saying it just goes away, disappears. So you've got, work through it and really learn the lessons, I guess. The really deep, insightful lessons in doing the work, the shadow work, the inner child work. But yeah, the twin rays, twin flames. Can twin flames become twin rays? I guess potentially. Two people separate, can they come back together? Yes, but then we're looking at karmics. It is have you done the work, essentially? And if you have, great. If you haven't, then you would know, because it will feel like a reoccurring relationship, which is where we get into karmics. You're coming back together for the karmics, so there can potentially be patterns that you're not seeing, getting caught up in the emotions and the roller coaster ride of these, just not seeing the fulfilling each other's needs, and one might want this and the other's not delivering, so you might see then potentially some manipulation, narcissism and narcissists I think potentially every family has one, and it can be good in a sense to help you in your journey, in your elevation. So yeah, can twin flames become twin rays potentially, or do they stay? You know, if it's still in the sense of karmic, then you're staying essentially as a twin flame until the work is done, and then when you come back together in union, it's where you're both actually able to love yourself. You're loving yourself, they're loving themselves, and then you get to come together in this union where you can both hold space for yourself, your emotions, your needs, but also hold the space for each other in that sense. So I believe, you know, people talk about twin flame union as part of the same cell coming back in to trigger and mirror each other to help with healing and elevation. Yeah, and then the twin rays, more of the adult version where the work's been done. And yeah, you come back together for union. I believe we're all potentially twin rays. If there's a twin, you know, do you have a specific somebody out there who's going to come back in and be part of your team? I guess where I'm going with this whole twin rays potentially could look like soul tribe or soul family, where people will be in either one of those energies, those frequencies in terms of the colours. That's would be predominantly what you emanate essentially as like an aura. But also on the other hand, what if you could be all of those? You know, I'm just thinking in terms of twin rays, what if they come in terms of like a soul family to help activate you so that you could access all of the rays and potentially become a master of all of those. And that would be coming into looking like, they speak of Jesus, Yeshua, aka Jesus, was able to activate his avatar. And we've all seen the movie Avatar, the concept behind what the potential is. So there's a lot of talk on the internet around Jesus, aka Yeshua, being someone who activated his avatar, which potentially would have been able to do all of those things to all of these rays. So in terms of people coming in as soul family, can they help you activate your highest timeline, your highest self, your avatar? And can you help them? But also, what if you could be all of the twin rays in terms of you splitting yourself? Imagine you could split yourself. Imagine you could split yourself into 12, and each one of versions of you was a representative of one of those lights. And how cool would that be? Like, also then think about that. If there's 12 yous, then there's 12 yous you can essentially go out to work and have multiple streams of income. Like, that's quite a cool concept. Imagine you could do that. What would that look like? What would that mean? Like, is it possible? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, let's get creative. Let's get our creative imagination on here. Multiple users, multiple timelines with multiple jobs, creating multiple streams of income. And then having said that, then what if you could do it all? Like all of your dreams, you know, everything you wanted to do or be. I mean, essentially, in the metaphysical and spiritual, we are creating multiple timelines. So let's put that into perspective. What could that look like? So let's take daydreaming. When you really get into that daydream, you kind of, you timeline jump. You shift into that time where you're fully present in that timeline. So yes, we're creating a new timeline, whatever you're creating for that timeline, and you can shift. You feel it through the sense of daydream where you completely are present or fully present, where I guess where your consciousness is more focused in that timeline, and then, you know, someone says something or it's time to do something, so you come back anchored back into this timeline. So yeah, that's really what I wanted to share with you today, a little bit about twin rays and twin flames. Like I said, there's a lot of information out there, so feel free, and I encourage you to go and do some research. I just like the idea and the concept, I guess, of the maturity of the twin ray and the fulfilling divine purpose and mission, and what that looks like when you're able to, I guess, work through all these deep wounds. You know, what would that look like if you wasn't in fear of being shamed, or feared of being guilty, or fear of being abandoned? Like, all of these are deep fears that do exist, I believe, in all of us. And through my journey, my healing journey that I'm still on, and it's not easy, trust me, it's challenging as hell, these have come up. As well as trust, there's a deep trust issue here as well, and I'm like, okay, I'm stuck in a cycle with this. I'm not entirely sure how to shift it. I'm doing the work, but I guess action, when it comes to healing, it's not just about intellectualizing or realizing. I guess there's a certain part where action is needed in terms of shifting and changing that narrative or that story that's attached to the trust wound or the abandonment wound. So sorry, I kind of got carried away there. That was going to be a topic for another video around the emotions and all of that. But yeah, so that concludes this video. So thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and if you want to, I will leave a link to my PayPal link down below. So feel free to make a donation only if you want to. Thank you very much. Have a great day.